Tour junkies.
What's up, golf addicts? Welcome to the Tour Junkies podcast for the RBC Heritage this week. And I don't know, kind of like usual after a big week, we're without DB. We're without DB. And look, it used to be that I had the biggest Masters hangover of the two of us. But now it must be DB because he's not on. But I got my good friend Matt with me, and we're going to have a great show. Look, I'm going to go ahead and set the stage, Matt.
Let's hear it.
We're winging this. We're winging this because that's what you and I do best, I think.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to do. Now, we're going to recap the Masters because there's a lot to talk about there. We're going to give our thoughts there. We're going to talk about the course this week for the Heritage, which I know you've got some good insights on the course, Matt. We're going to have some stories. We're going to give some picks, but we're just going to have fun on this show. And that's what we're going to do because it's post-Masters, and that's what we do every year. So, Matt.
Yeah.
Before we get into Rory, how was the week for you? How was
it? It was cool. I was down at CBS HQ doing like updates every out on the hour, basically with, a random host. It was cool. I worked with a ton of like pros in the sports industry. And it was good, it was good reps for me behind a desk, but I got to watch all the golf, which was good. Man, what a tournament. What a tournament, dude.
I mean, I don't even know where to start.
I don't either.
It's really hard to there's just so many things that went in.
I mean, right out of the gates, all the studs came out firing. It felt like, Scotty, Rory, till he doubled the last two of the last four. But yeah, just an all-timer. Yesterday was super bizarre for me. What did you think?
I thought it was one of the strangest things ever. And I really wanted your insight on it because, look, we can talk all about Rory winning. And
yeah,
I know.
I really thought going into the last round that Bryson was going to win. I knew Rory. I watched all of it. Rory was playing so much better than Bryson. They should never have been 2 shots apart. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I still felt like now the moment is so big, it almost doesn't even matter how they're playing. That now that they're in, now that they've got to that moment. But it felt like, I don't know, Bryson obviously did not have his stuff this week, but he did Rory a ton of favors, never putting any pressure on him. Laying up on 3, I thought was kind of a mistake.
Yeah.
It let Rory get his feet under him, and obviously a ton of stuff happened after that too. But just fucking bizarre, dude. We were crowning him after 10. It's like this is going to be a parade on the back 9 for Rory.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, like he didn't even have the lead.
It was just. And then you had you never really thought about Ludwig, and then all of a sudden,
they barely showed him. He was back, and then he potentially was going to win the Masters. That was that wedge shot Rory hit on 13 under the circumstances. Man, if things shake out a little different there in the playoff, ooh. That's an all-time blender.
I want to talk about that shot because you've been in the arena before, what? How do you hit the shot? Because I get it. I know there's so much pressure, and somebody asked me this yesterday. They're like, "What is it about the Masters that just adds all that pressure?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, you think about it. Everybody's present. The whole no phone thing, and everybody's watching you, and they're not
Which,
distracted."
By the way, is awesome.
It's fantastic, but it's just you feel like these players are in it's just elevated so much, the pressure, more than any other event. I never would think Rory would hit a shot like that, but he did, because it looks like a pretty easy shot right there to most of us that are watching.
I think sometimes, these guys are so good. At the end of the day, that's an 80-yard shot. How often do you think Rory's aiming away from pins on 80-yard shots? It's hard to do. And then he's a natural drawer of the ball. The ball's above his feet. It's yes, he had a mile to the left, and it would have, he could have used the slope and bring it to the right. But for a drawer to aim left of that pin, like that's not a comfortable feeling either for him.
Yeah.
It probably was an awkward shot, but man, the second that thing took off, it was like, are you kidding? I cannot believe this is happening right now.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Just unreal for him to walk off that hole and not have the solo lead anymore. And then, you go to the shot on 15, which was, I kind of think that the shot on 15, it was better for him to be in that left side.
Oh, 100%. Like if anyone's made the, first of all, that was a perfect shot for him under the circumstances.
Yeah,
he could have just step on one and over rotated, do whatever you want, like pull hook it. You just need to make solid contact. And he's like, he probably hits that shot in his sleep, dude.
Yeah.
But to pull it off in that moment, yeah, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was an incredible shot. And then, but it's just so like the roller coaster of Rory yesterday.
And then he misses the putt.
Yeah. Still makes birdie, kind of does what you needed him to do, but still the eagle really could have, taken him, it obviously would have taken the pressure off for the rest of the
It just shows you too, like how heavy that was for him, because he clearly had his A+ stuff this week. I mean, he was really, really good.
I mean, 4 doubles.
Dude's really good, but you could just see the body language. Exactly. You could just see the body language, though. Like it was a little different all week, but also he looked like me trying to close out a golf tournament. Like he looked like his legs were weak. Like he was just, I needed to take a deep breath more than normal. And, on TV with 9 to go, it was like, dude, you got this. You might win by 8, bro. Like keep doing what you're doing. The wedge shot in regulation, I mean, another shocker after just striping it down the middle.
I mean, it's a pretty large green.
Dude, that's a shocker. Yeah. It's one thing if he's like not playing well, but like this guy's leading the Masters with 4 doubles.
And I mean, he piped his drive. I mean,
you already did the hard part. Yeah,
I was so nervous about the drive, and that was easy for him, and then he misses the wedge.
Yeah, you already did the hard part. Yeah,
and then
I was like, I got to be honest, dude. I really like Justin Rose.
I did too.
I feel like I've given him out a few. I feel like he slept on a ton in these golf tournaments. I mean, that guy's a stud. Still is. And I found myself pulling for him late too. I mean, dude, this guy's done everything but win one of these as well. What's that? 3 seconds now?
Yeah, second time he's lost in the playoff. He lost to Sergio in 2017.
Right, and
we hit that on the show last week, plus 350 to go to a playoff.
Nice. One other thing, Justin. How about Justin Rose's the 2 shots? He hit in that playoff, stripes the tee shot, and then how far do you have in? One. I mean, his ball mark was 2 feet in front of the hole. Like, that's pretty impressive.
He had a good shot. I thought that might come back.
Well, distance helps a ton off that tee there.
Yeah. Well, and then Rory's shot was just absolutely amazing. I mean,
sure.
He pretty much ends it right there. That was not an easy putt, I don't think, that Justin Rose had.
No, it's an awkward one. It's like there's kind of a spine, I feel like.
Yeah.
If you get it right, it goes right. If you get it left, it just kind of stays over there too.
Yeah. Did you think too, and I thought this because I said this to somebody I was with right when it happened, but when Rory doubled the first hole, and he said this in his press conference, I said to somebody, I was like, you know what? That actually might settle him down. And he said that in the press conference. He said, it actually kind of settled me down a little bit after doubling the first hole, which is weird. But to kind of talk through that, because I've felt that before, like even in just a member guest, like all of a sudden I come out of the gates and I double the first hole or triple. All of a sudden you feel a little pressure off. Like, have you ever felt that before? It
totally shifts the mindset. I mean, you've been sleeping on the lead for, however many hours it was. And then all of a sudden it's a completely different, potentially it's a completely different game plan. I feel like Bryson's shitty play settled him down more than anything.
Right. Yeah.
I was, the viewer in me was I wanted Roy to win the whole time, but the viewer in me was very disappointed at how there was just no heat put on him at all from Bryson.
Yeah. Because if you're gonna if you're gonna, I mean, obviously there was heat being put on them in different places with what Justin Rose was doing, with what Ludwig was doing. But still, when you got the guy in your group giving you pressure, it's a whole different feeling. And I did think Bryson was going to do a little bit more. I think you're right. Hole 3, I was surprised he wasn't more aggressive. And Rory was. He knew he had to be, and he busts a drive there, gets basically up and down for birdie. So it kind of changed things. You had 2 holes right there in a row where there was, 2 shot swings.
And the best part about Bryson's week was a short game. Like, if he press that thing up there and take your chances.
Yeah. But, Rory gets it done. I know a lot of people, it was kind of a community win. A lot of people had Rory. I had Rose on the card too. So I was either way, I was fine when it comes to, patting my own self on the back. But it was a good week for a lot of folks. And it was probably, to me, one of the best Masters I've seen in a while. It was fantastic.
So good.
It was. And the whole thing, too, is just such a production when it comes to watching it on TV. And this is why I think it's such a great major, because it's not just the golf. There's so many things that they do a good job of with out there. And I thought the course setup was fantastic for a Sunday. So everything was good about it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there was
without Tiger, that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah.
What did you think about the pin on 16? Are you cool with it not being in the regular spot?
No, I would have preferred. That was one thing that I would say that I was disappointed when they were talking about.
I bet the hole-in-one bettors were pissed off.
Oh, I'm sure they were, because that's what you're hoping for. Was there?
Dude, that's it. It's a coin flip if there's going to be one.
Yeah, and they didn't do it. And I get it. It was the 50th anniversary of Nicklaus's 1975 win there, and that was where the pin was. But I don't think they'll go back to that next year. But they tried something different. You know what else they tried different out there, Matt? I bet you didn't know this.
Let me hear it.
They had a tomato pie in the concession stand.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah,
what days did you go out there?
Just Saturday, all day Saturday. The tomato pie.
What's your how do you roam the course, or do you park it, and what's your deal?
Park it on 2 for a little bit and watch the leaders come right there on the top of 2, where I'm looking down at the pin, where you can see them hit if they go for it in 2 or their layup shots, and then you can see their putts. So I love 2. And then I did a little walking around. So went down to, I was with somebody who'd never been out there. So we walked the course, went down, 10, 11, 12, 13, up to 15, all that kind of stuff. So we did it all. It was a long day out there, but a lot of fun.
That 2 tee box is a sneaky little place to get, pretty intimate with the players.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. I agree with that. I've done that before. 9 tee box is kind of the same too, actually. You can get up there, but, it was a
awesome week. Awesome week. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's almost like I'm sitting there on Sunday doing whatever, and I'm doing the golf this week too. And it's like, how the hell are we supposed to call golf this week after this?
I know. And we got an elevated event.
I know.
So on a course that everybody knows, just like they know Augusta National, not in the same way. And we'll get into some course discussion here in a minute and talk about our bets this week and everything. First, though, I got to talk about the Tour Junkies trip. Buy elite events and tickets to the Ryder Cup. Look, folks, if you're not going on this trip, I don't know what you're thinking. I mean, September 25th through 29th, it's in New York City. They're at Bethpage this year for the Ryder Cup. We got a ton of things planned. Thursday night, we're going to go to the Yankees game, and then we're going to go, out to the Ryder Cup, of course. We're going to play a little golf. We're going to go to a bar to watch the Georgia game, which, Georgia, Alabama, why would you not want to do that? So there's different packages. Check the link in the description of this video, and you will be able to see all the things. You can get a 3-night package, a 4-night package, and it includes everything. You can even piece it off if you want to. There's a form, though, on the website and the link. Just fill out that form, and you will get somebody reaching directly out to you. So got to go on this Ryder Cup trip, Matt. You got to go. It'll be fantastic. So I cannot wait. All right. Let's talk about the Heritage.
Hilton Head? Yeah.
Yeah. I want to hear some stories that you have, but first let's talk about the course. It is one of those courses that kind of interesting. I've played it once before. I have to admit I didn't really like it because you could hit it into a fairway and be completely blocked out by a tree or something. There was just some weird shots out there. It definitely feels like a position style, golf course where you got to be in the right spots off the tee. Relatively narrow fairways. greens are, kind of small. This is why you feel like guys like Boo Weekley did so well. They're just hitting fairways, great ball strikers, hitting greens.
Yeah.
So your thoughts on here? How many times have you gotten to play there? And
I have no clue. Plenty.
Yeah.
I felt like when I was playing okay, I did all right here. And even if I was struggling, I felt like I did okay here.
Mhm.
For me, it's all iron play. This place, all like everything. If off the tee, it kind of takes drive out of your hands on quite a few holes, which I know is no secret. Small greens, not a ton of movement on the greens. I feel like course history is important here.
Mhm.
And it's weather dependent too. Like, I mean, it's such a weird time of year there. Like, I've seen it where it's freezing cold and then also, sweating. So, yeah, I mean, I have a pretty good idea of like the style of player I like around this.
Yeah, I would agree too. Like I think it's definitely an iron ball strikers course. I think the
You're
weather
gonna have so many looks because the greens are tiny if you're dialed in with your irons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
The weather is going to be good. I mean, it's going to be sunny most of the week, perfect. I do think you're going to see some wind, especially Saturday. There's going to be some gusts, and Sunday, so that's definitely going to be a factor. I mean, I'm seeing up to 20-mile-per-hour gusts on Saturday and Sunday, so
Mhm.
that'll be interesting to look at. I mean, there won't be any rain or anything, but which in my mind, if it's going to be windy, it just puts more emphasis on your great iron players. So
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to see this week again.
There's
Same
some
as all.
tricky little pockets out there with that wind too, man.
Yeah,
It swirls like crazy. The par threes are like 4 when it's windy, brutal.
yeah,
17's tough because it's usually whipping off the left or in. But yeah, it's you gotta. I'm and the type of iron player I'm looking for is a guy that controls his flight, maneuvers it both ways, just an all around like quality iron player.
yeah. No, absolutely. I think, yeah, I'm looking forward for a good week. And it's weird. It's one of those courses too that's similar to this style when you get in South Carolina. You got a lot of holes that kind of wind back in through the trees, but then they come back out on the marsh, and then
Mm-hmm.
so you're exposed on several holes. But it definitely gets a little tricky. A lot of these holes out there. So I think it's going to be, I still think we've seen since it's been an elevated event, the cream kind of rise to the top here. But I do think we got a few long shot plays that we can look at. But first,
Really?
I think I got a couple.
Okay.
Not like super like deep long shots, but I do got a couple that I think in that kind of 75-1 range that I do like.
Oh,
And you
I see.
might could guess who one of them is going to be.
Yeah.
But before we talk about that, I need to hear some stories. I need to hear some Hilton Head stories.
Hilton Head stories.
Yeah.
I broke my finger there one year. Not my rookie year, I broke it. We were playing. It's my caddy, and then this guy Bill Harkey's the Max Homa's new caddy right now, and then myself. We're out at the beach on Tuesday playing Burnout. We were just having a day. It was beautiful out. I was having a nice year, and nobody was dropping it. So then I throw like this knuckleball to my caddy Derek, and he drops it, and he's like, "I get a chance to tie because whoever dropped it first had to buy dinner." So he throws one right back at me, and it just jams these two fingers like super nasty. So we go to dinner, and the tips of them are black. And the next morning I wake up, it's Wednesday, and my ring finger had gotten better. It still wasn't great, and this is just like another color, dude. It was disgusting, but it was in line. So I go to the course, and there's this lady doctor there, and I'm like, "Hey, I think I might have broke my finger. Can you check it out?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she's looking at it. She's like, "Well, it's in line. It's probably jammed. I might need to pull it out of the jam." So she yanks on it, and I can feel my heart beating through like the tip of my pinky finger. Dude, it hurts so bad. So I played Thursday, Friday with like basically my pinky finger hanging off the club. It still was just totally fucked. And like drivers were fine. Any kind of wedge that was going into the ground hurt so bad. So that I missed the cut. The next week was New Orleans. And it was before it was a team event. I go to the hospital to get an x-ray. They're like, yeah, it's broke. Six weeks in the splint. I missed. I was going to get in TPC. I was playing, like I played good enough to get in it out of my, rookie year. Missed TPC, Charlotte, like a ton of other events. Oh, it was just a mess, the start of a mess. But that's my best memory from Hilton Head. I had a few good starts there. I don't know my finishes, but I feel like I did okay there a couple of years. It's a cool week, man. It's an easy walk after Augusta. Those guys coming from there to here, it's obviously it's night and day. But good weather. It's a happening place and a really fun environment.
Yeah, it seems like obviously I've been out there a few times and it's definitely a lot more relaxed. Although I kind of wonder if the vibe changed a little bit with the fact that it's now an elevated event and there's more money on the line. Because before it just seemed like it was the vacation after the Masters, especially for all the the players that were in.
Yeah.
Now it's got to be a little bit different, but I mean Hilton Head is a good spot to kind of take your family to.
It's slam that week. I mean, the island's rocking that week. I like it.
Did you ever visit what I call the Bermuda Triangle?
Yes.
Yeah. This is right before you get into Sea Pines.
Yeah.
Bars right there. Just I used to live in Hilton Head actually.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Just stuff.
Yeah.
Just stuff. Kind of living there, hanging out. It was a fun time. That was a fun year. I think it was a little longer than a year, but it was fun. We had a house right near in Palmetto Dunes, right near the water. It was amazing. Good old days there in Hilton Head. All right. Well, let's talk about it. Let's get into some bets, and then we'll do some top tens, and then we'll kind of be out of here, Matt. All right. So looking at the top of the board, you've got Scotty's a favorite, obviously, defending champ. You've got Colin Morikawa up there. You've got Xander. You've got Ludwig, all the way up to like JT, Cantlay, Connors, Henley. Those are really like your top going up to 25-1. Can't forget Shane Lowry. Do you have anybody up here? Because I do think this is where the cream is. Who are your favorite sort of two on the shorter end, not named Scotty? Because I don't really want to talk about Scotty.
Yeah. Colin. Did you see that video of him from the Masters? Am I missing something there? Did you see that?
Which video? I mean,
I don't know. Of him marking his ball. Weird.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
It might be nothing.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I like
things that I don't see on social media that David probably saw. So
I'll send it to you. I like him, and then I mean, God.
I mean, I think Colin is probably going to be a very popular play this week, and I don't mind it. I mean, 11, 12-1.
Xander, maybe.
I think Xander is interesting. What though would take?
I don't know. Like, I feel like is Justin Thomas done winning? Like, what happened?
I can't. Like, I don't.
Is Patrick Cantlay done winning? I mean, where's he been lately?
He's, I don't know, being slow.
God,
that's what he's doing. I mean, look, and this was it this? I know it was Hilton Head. I don't know if it was last year or the year before where that was where the whole slow play thing got in, where he got on, somebody yelled at him and he got into it a little bit. But I think JT and Cantlay are kind of out for me this week. Now, Cantlay has an amazing history here. I mean, his last 3 years, he's got a second, a third, and a third. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you like the course history theme, I do think Cantlay at 20-1 could make some sense. I have a hard time, though, because you talked about Xander. I think I kind of like Ludwig more than Xander.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Yeah, I know Ludwig didn't have the form going into the Masters, but he definitely had it during the tournament, and I think he found something. And I think this is a great fit for him. He doesn't have to hit driver off the tee everywhere. He can do that. He can hit his irons however he wants to, I think. So I think Ludwig, to me, if I'm going up top and I'm trying to, outside of Morikawa, it's probably going to be Ludwig for me over Xander.
I like that.
So, and then you get into your middle range guys.
Yeah. So these middle range guys, I like the guys that when I think of them, I think they don't leave the course wasting a lot of shots. Like I like
so
that.
Jordan Spieth, then?
I mean,
he wastes a lot of shots.
Yeah. Like Daniel Berger for me is 100%. I'm going to play him probably to top five win. I think he's going to win this week.
Berger's literally, I was going to go straight to him. He's one of my favorite plays. I'm seeing him 45-1 right now on Bet the Number.
He's got a hard on for this place. He's been, itching to get back here. I guarantee it for a while.
Yeah. And he hasn't played in a couple of years because of the injury.
Right. Yeah.
So I do agree. He's one of those fantastic course history before that. By the way, speaking of Jordan and videos, did you see the little tap he did on the guy?
Yeah, was that his buddy? It had to be a buddy.
I don't know. Like,
there's no way you're doing that to a stranger. No chance.
Little, but it was pretty smooth. I got to hand it to Jordan. He just did it without even thinking about it, and the guy bends over. It was perfect. Had to have been a buddy, but that was pretty funny. I don't think I'm going to be on Jordan, but I love Daniel Berger this week. I'm worried about this, Matt, but Sung J M, I don't know. I kind of want to dabble in some Sung J at 40-1. He's got a great course history here too. Basically three of the last 4 times he's played, he's got.
When's the last time he's won?
It's been a long time.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
So maybe you look at Sung J and he's more of a top 10 play. He's plus 280 as a top 10. He's got 3 top 15s in his last 4 times playing here. I think it is a place that he likes. So he is interesting to me, but I think in that range, Daniel Berger is the guy. I don't think I'm going to mess with Fleetwood up there anymore. I'm not going to mess with Victor. I think it's going to be Berger. I think I may have some Sung J. And then the other 2 that I like are Wyndham Clark and Denny McCarthy.
Really?
I like both of those. Wyndham, what is his deal? When do we know if he's going to be good or not? What?
I know. His good stuff is so freaking good.
It is.
No, I hear you. I'm looking at it right now. Model score for T3 last year. Do you like him? Like it because it kind of takes driver out of his hands and you just beat that long iron off the tee around here? And
yeah, I like that. I think, we know in general, he usually is a pretty good iron player. It's kind of been off lately, but he is 4th in the BTN model this week. So I think that's interesting. Denny to me is another guy.
No, he's 41 and he's 41 in the model. Wyndham is.
Oh wait, sorry, 41 in the model.
Yeah,
you're right.
4 was his model score.
4 is yeah. Okay, so I don't know. Denny's also not very high in the model, but has a good history here. He's been playing good golf.
Yeah.
I think Denny's interesting. Anybody else kind of this middle range that you really like?
What's middle? Like
up to 60-1.
Yeah. I like Matt McNeely.
Okay.
Nice iron player. All right, let's move down.
Okay. All right. Moving down the board a little bit, there is a few guys in here that I think are worth looking at. Do you go back to Justin Rose? Now he's 60-1, but do you think he just wore out his week and then he's just not gonna?
That's what I was just getting ready to say. It's almost like calling golf last week and then you got to call it again this week.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can he get up for it the same?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know if I'll have any of him, but I know I have 2 guys that I will have. I'll have Bud Colley.
I like Bud.
Absolutely have Bud. Look at his last 3 events.
I know, nuts.
It's amazing.
This place is right up his alley. I know it says last start here he missed the cut, but
there was a big injury.
Right up his alley.
I feel
like I played here with him a ton. earlier. We got paired together at this place a bunch, I feel like.
Yeah.
He had good finishes.
It just feels like a perfect place for him. So I think Bud Colley 75-1. I really like that number on him. I think Sahith is interesting. He started to, he hasn't done anything great this year, and he's not going to show up in any models, but it does feel like it's a course that he likes. He can tend to be a little wild with the driver, but like you said, I don't think he's going to have to hit a driver on a lot of these holes. He's got a fifth and a second because he was second last year. He's 75-1. I think that's a pretty long number for a guy like Sahith. I watched him play a few holes last week. I mean, I saw him hit some really good shots, some really good irons. His family, by the way, is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely just have this infectious energy around him when you see him play. And he could be in last place and they're acting like he's in the lead. It's awesome. And I like Sahith at 75-1. And maybe I might have a couple longer shots, but I'll let you kind of talk through any of these guys in this range that you like, other than Colley. I know you like Colley.
Yeah, I like Colley. I like Tom Hoagie. I know I've been riding him a bunch, but I had him in the top 20 last week. That was a nice one. He hung in there. I feel like this place, he hasn't played here before, but I feel like this place suits Jacob Bridgman pretty nicely, and maybe a top 20 bet on Bridgman here would be good. Top 10 bet maybe. Go ahead, because then we're getting into triple digits.
Yeah, you're right. I do like the Bridgman call, and he's plus 220 to finish in the top 20, which seems like really good odds there, or plus 550 for the top 10. So I like that.
Harmon as well.
Yeah, love Harmon. All right, I just want to talk about this guy because I think it's interesting how this can happen. But Max Homa is 80-1. Now, how does somebody go to Augusta National and find form?
I feel like that happens.
I know.
I feel like it happens. I was talking with somebody else about that before the week started, like going over some picks or something. And it was my buddy Aaron Price. And he was like, sometimes guys that are struggling, they end up finding form at Augusta, and freaking Max out of nowhere. I mean,
out of nowhere. It just has been
nowhere.
Awful. Yeah. Just been awful all year long. And all of a sudden there he is. Now, I don't want to bet him this week.
Me either. I'm not touching him.
I'm not touching him. I do not want to look. I know for anybody listening, and
I hope he wins, but I'm not touching him.
But I don't want to bet him. And he doesn't really. I mean, you look at his last two starts here. He's got a T55 and a missed cut, so nothing really exciting there. But I did want to talk about Max because I just thought it was interesting what he was able to do last week. Literally out of
hit some killer shots.
Yeah, he did. I don't really know. I think the longest shot play that I might think about, and it's.
I got one.
Okay. Do you want your?
Let's say it at the same exact time. All right.
Okay.
I'll count to 3, and then you say yours. I'll say mine.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Ryan Gerard.
Yes,
I knew you were going there.
All right, talk about Gerard first, and then we'll talk about Hisatusier.
He's playing some good golf, man.
Really
I watched him play that final round at San Antonio. Really liked what I saw. He didn't finish great. He got under the pump and tugged an iron on the last and made a bogey. It didn't end up costing him much, but I think he's starting to find, get his feet under him out here. I know he's a confident guy. I could hear the way he talks to his caddy in my headset, and he is very confident. And I'm a fan. Has not played here before, but I think at 120-1, I mean, maybe something, and then 7-1 on a top 10 doesn't sound terrible either.
No, I'm going to go ahead and give that to you. That's going to be your long shot top 10.
Okay,
is Ryan Gerard.
Okay.
By the way, speaking of, I don't know. The season long bet is I don't know the standings right now. I know DB had Rory last week, so he obviously had a huge jump. And we'll recap all the season long stuff next week because we don't have Tony on here. We don't have DB. So we're not going to go through that draft until we'll do that on the text chain, and we'll update everybody next week on where that is. But obviously, DB with Rory made a big, and I made the choice. It was really my fault.
Yeah, you
I
did.
Taking Rory, and I didn't want to jinx him, and so maybe I had something to do with Rory finally winning because I didn't take him. Now Scotty did okay for me, but kind of snuck in there at the end, and all of a sudden were you thinking for a second, like, what if Scotty comes up here and does something and wins this golf tournament? Like, he literally was climbing, but
I bet he was thinking it.
Not enough holes left, but he was thinking it. All right. Rio, though, really quick. I do like Rio a lot this week. He's another guy that has not played here. But you look at two of his last 3 events. He finished 4th at the Valspar. He finished 5th in Texas at the Valero. He's 14th in the BTN model. I like Rio a lot. He's 170 to 1. He's going to be my long shot top 10.
I got one more long shot top 10.
Okay. Well, first Rio's 9 to 1. So what is your other?
This guy's 8.5. Matt Kuchar.
Okay. Yeah. I like it. I'm a fan. I was looking at Kuchar too. A guy that plays well here. He doesn't. You don't have to be a one of these new players on tour that can hit it a mile and that just like Cooch can play this course well at his age and be perfectly fine. I mean, Davis left in this tournament like it felt like 100 times.
I mean, on a few holes, like I don't know how short he is like exactly now, but on a few holes, his driver is just going to go where the guys that are hitting 3-wood are going. Like he's totally fine here.
I know, but then again, like you talk about a guy like Davis Love who won so many times that he was a bomber in his day, but still, was able to dial it back and win here. So I just think
he was pretty good throughout the bag.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So I agree there. So I'm with you on Cooch. All right, we gave our long shot top 10s, and I know we kind of mentioned some along the way, but if you could give me two lock top 10s, and then I'll give you my 2.
Morikawa minus 105. Lock it up. And then let's go Daniel Berger plus 320 top 10.
I like it. All right. I'm going to go then. I'll go Ludwig at plus 115 as a top 10. I just absolutely love that. And then, we haven't really talked about him all that much, but I just love how he's playing 3 top 10s out of his last 4 events. Great ball striker, great iron player. Kind of an interesting history here. He does have a 4th place back in 2021, followed that up with a 12th. The last 2 years have not been great. But Corey Connors is plus 180 as a top 10. I just, the way he plays the game, I think it is a good course fit for him. So I'll go with him at that plus 180 number as my other lock top 10. You don't like it? You don't like it?
No, I was just like, I mean, it's wild. Corey Connors is 22 to 1 to win the tournament in a signature event.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking wild.
It is wild. I don't think I want to touch him outright, but I do like the top 10 on him.
And I have mad respect for his game, but like that's wild.
Yeah, it's amazing. So anyway, look, Matt, it's been a show.
It has, yeah. What do we got? What do we got next week?
Oh God.
New Orleans.
Do we have New Orleans next week?
I think it is, yeah.
Does that mean we get a week off? I don't know. No, next week is. Yeah, you're right. It is next week. Next week is Zurich, or Zurich.
New Orleans, Philly, PGA, right?
By the way, what we do have, and we're not going to get into this, but we have an opposite field event this week.
Oh yeah,
we have Corrales. So, listen, get in the Discord this week. Matt puts his plays in there. I'll have mine in there. DB, I think, might. We'll probably do some Corrales plays. I'm not going to put that on you, Matt, but I'll probably throw some in there. The Discord was hopping last week. Check all the links in the descriptions. Our friends at SoBet, Bet the Number, all that stuff. I know Bet the Number was definitely helping some people win bets last week with Rory and top 20s and everything else. So check all that out. Links are in the description. Matt, I hope you have. Are you going to be out there all week?
No, I'm in the studio.
Okay, in the studio. Well,
I heard DB is looking at property in Galveston right now.
Yeah, I think he is. Is he still there? Did he get stuck in Galveston?
I don't know.
It doesn't seem like the best place to get stuck, but I don't know, maybe not. But hey, that's me hating on a city. You know, Matt.
I was waiting for you to pile on. All right, I got to run. See you, bro.
Right, appreciate it.
Later.
Out.
Tour Junkies featuring David Barnett is not an affiliate of CWM LLC. Opinions expressed by the host or guests do not reflect those of CWM LLC. CWM LLC does not endorse gambling or the entities promoted by the Tour Junkies podcast. David is a non-registered representative of CWM LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.